leading to that even distribution?
Yeah, we have a bunch of guys that are making plays. I think Art does a good job of game planning and try to spread the thing around. And then when I'm out there, I'm just going through my reads and trying to find the open guy. And we have guys deep in our roster that have the ability to get open. So, I have a lot of confidence no matter who's out there that, I'm going to have a good spot to go with the ball.
And you have some guys that go 1-2 read and they take off, but you're able to work through sometimes your fourth progression. What's behind that? Why are you able to consistently go through all of your progressions that way?
Well, it starts with protection. If you're going to be working deep into protection, deep into a progression, you have to have protection and some time in the pocket to get through it. So that's part of it. Part of it's just being able to recognize coverages and quickly eliminate routes that aren't good versus leverages and coverages. And then, like I said, guys being able to find ways to get open on the backside, knowing that they have a little more time to work and use some route craft. And so it's paying off for us.
Teresa?
Ryan, you've talked last week about the confidence that this team has when you need to go score at the end of the game, and kind of that belief that you all have. Is there a risk that it just keeps building? Can you become overconfident in that ability, that kind of confidence, or is it just something that it continues growing?
Well, I don't think the confidence changes. I think the confidence continues to build. The more reps we get, the more time we get together. Obviously, you don't want to be in every game, having to go win it at the end. Obviously, it's slim odds that you're actually going to be able to do it every single time. But that confidence and the mentality that we're going to go do it every single time, that doesn't change. That can keep growing. But obviously, you don't want to spend every fourth quarter, coming down to the last seconds.
What? Jim?
Hey, Ryan, I guess Roger brought up your and one comment after your touchdown pass to Adam on Sunday, and it kind of sparked a lot of conversation just about your competitiveness. Where does that date back to? Do you remember yourself as a Pop Warner kid, as a Little League kid that hated to lose and was always kind of fiery out there on the field as a kid?
Yeah, I didn't play Pop Warner, but I was constantly in sports, soccer, basketball, baseball, and I've always had the desire to win. Whatever it is, whether it's a race down the street with my friends or growing up or playing in a game, I've always loved winning and loved competing. So yeah, I think that fire still burns strong today.
And just out of curiosity, what do you got? What's going on above you?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like somebody's about to fall through the roof.
And just out of curiosity, did you remember the biggest hit you've ever taken standing in the pocket as a quarterback in the NFL?
I don't. Unfortunately, I've taken some hard ones over the years. I don't remember one in particular being the hardest.
Eric?
Hey, Ryan. I'm just curious how much you think Derrick Henry helps your passing efficiency in the red zone, just the threat of him back there, with how much focus he demands. Do you think that helps your efficiency, especially near the goal line?
Yeah, no doubt. When you have a back like Derrick, a guy who does so much for us, the threat of him running is huge, whether it be in the field in our play action game or, like you mentioned, down on the goal line, being able to run it in or use play action to throw over the top. So, we all know that that's kind of our game plan, week in, week out is to get the run going. Obviously, you have to play off that and how the game's going, but, every week we want to try to handball to Tutu and let him work.
Jared?
Yeah, Ryan, what can you do to get Derrick going on offense? Not that Derrick has played poorly, but hasn't been the same that he was at the end of last year, or at least the rushing totals haven't been that way. And how much of that is defenses and how they've changed now that they've got some more tape on you and Arthur and Derrick all together?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it. Obviously, I have to give credit to the defense for stopping us, but it's not like Derrick is out there getting 20 yards total in the game. He's still obviously producing and haven't had the big runs that we were used to seeing last year. But we have a lot of confidence that they'll come. We just keep handing the ball, cleaning up our details on the offensive line, receivers, our can system, getting into the right play, we all can do a little bit better, and if we were able to clean up those details, sustain blocks a little bit longer, be on the right guys, we're going to give them those creases that lead to those big runs. So really, I don't think it's so much on Derek individually as it's on the entire group as a whole, being able to execute better, be able to finish better, and give him those creases in order to make those big runs.
And then how much have you felt now that teams have had a whole offseason with you and Arthur together? When you're out there playing quarterback, how much do you feel that chess game?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a whole lot different than last year, honestly. It's football is constantly a chess game. It's defense trying to stop the offense adjusting, and the back and forth continues, throughout the whole game. Starts with game planning, and then adjustments are made throughout the game. So, I mean, football's pretty much always been that way, and I think it'll continue to be that way.
Buck?
Hey, Ryan. Minnesota has historically had a really strong defense, and they've kind of struggled through these first couple of weeks. What have you seen from them on tape, and how are you approaching this particular matchup?
Yeah, I still see a tough defense. You look back at the Green Bay game, I believe it was an 8-7 game with under 2 minutes to play in the first half. So, it's a sound defense. Coach Zimmer coaches a sound defense. They always put a tough team out on the field and guys in the right spots. So, I have a ton of respect. Obviously, the scores probably don't indicate the level of execution that they actually played with. A few plays there at the end of the Green Bay half kind of put the game out of reach. But, up until that point, it was a really tight game with them playing good defense. So, we have a ton of respect, and we understand that going in there, it's going to be a team with their backs against the wall, and we're going to have to go out and play well.
Paul?
Hey, Ryan, wondering what you thought about the big reaction you got from your guys with the and one line after the big hit from Allen on the touchdown to Hump.
I'm just out there having fun, man, just competing, enjoying the game, enjoying the process, and having fun. I don't really do it for a reaction or anything, just being myself, trying to lead, inspire the guys, and go have fun and make plays. So, I'm going to continue to try to do that.
Pat O'Hara said every quarterback's got a scar on his chin from plays like that. Do you have one?
I got scars all over, I don't know if it's literally on my chin, but, you play this game long enough, you're going to get beat up a little bit and have some scars.
Thanks.
John?
Yeah, Ryan, I wanted to get back on how well you guys have done, in those late game situations. Pat O'Hara said yesterday that he thinks you guys almost kind of look forward to it, that it's fun. Fair way to describe it, do you think? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, you don't want to end every game in that situation having to go out and go on a 2-minute drive to win. Obviously, we don't fear it. We feel very confidently if we do get in that situation that we're going to have guys that can make some plays and end up in a good situation to win the game. But, we don't want to end every game in that situation. But, I have a lot of confidence that if it does come up again, which it probably will, we've got a lot of games left here, that our confidence is strong going into that.
What are some things you guys do in practice in 2-minute situations that prove, especially helpful, that translate well into the games?
Just repping the situation. We've got a lot of reps throughout training camp. Just once we put it in, Coach Vrabel put us in that situation just about every day with different situations, different varying variables there with the timeouts, the field position, the time on the clock. Do we need a touchdown? Do we need a field goal? We got so many reps of different situations there, and I feel like it's really paying dividends now.
Thanks.
Starting to run short on time, but I want to get to everybody. Terry?
Ryan, yesterday Pat said that you have the same type of demeanor every day and that you're very even-keeled. How much does that carry over into your preparation and even onto the field as you execute?
Yeah, I want to be consistent. I mean, that's important to me. I feel like, as a leader, as a quarterback, you want to be consistent. You want to come in with good energy every day. You can't, ride the highs too high or get low if things aren't going so well. You have to be consistent and focused on steady improvement. And that's what I try to bring to the table every day. And hopefully inspire the guys around me to do the same.
And have you done anything differently here in terms of approach, preparation, play than you did in Miami?
Not really. I figured out kind of my rhythm of preparation a couple years into my career, and kind of carrying it forward here.
Last two, Luke.
Ryan, we know all the different things that Jonnu can do: run after the catch, jump balls, blocking. Have you ever seen a tight end that can do as many different things as he does, and what does that give your offense?
Yeah, Jonnu is so well-rounded. He does a lot for us. He's a guy that we like one-on-one matchups outside. He has a good feel for it. We saw the first play of the game last week of sneaking out of there, obviously blocking on the outside. He's seen in the backfield as a running back. He's really a Swiss Army knife for us and creates a lot of opportunities for our offense. So, I think that our offense has a ton of confidence in Jonnu. I know I do. And, we're excited to have him on board.
David?
Ryan, were there moments Sunday where you thought, wow, this would be a great spot for A.J. Brown, or do you just call the play and not even think about who's in the huddle when you do?
Yeah, on game day, you can't really think about, who you don't have. You got to think about the play and how we're going to attack that play and make the best of it, whatever explosive or efficient or whatever the case may be. Obviously, missing AJ, he's such a great player and does so many good things for us. But we had a couple guys that really filled that spot for us last week, did a good job, and we'll see what happens this week with that.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
To do to attract what might attract any additional attention to you on that?
I don't know, Buck. I don't know if referees are going through everybody's Instagram handle or Twitter handles and making sure what's what. But it's more of a joke than anything else. My penalties were so bad last year. I'm trying to make a conscious effort this year of still being just effective while also not having penalties. But I wouldn't make it a bigger deal than it is. It was more of a joke than anything else.
What's the difference this year so far? I know it's early, but what are you doing anything differently to try and avoid those?
I think I'm way more conscious of it. I definitely am trying to make sure that, at the end of the play, pulling up a little bit, not, just conscious, being conscious of it. That's the easiest thing I could say. That's really what it is, I've gone into seasons not worried about it my whole life. I don't think I've ever made it through the first game of the season ever without getting a penalty. So I would say it's a step in the right direction, but by no means is it, make everything better through all the penalties I've gotten throughout my career. So like I said, it was a joke. I'm conscious of it. Will I probably have a penalty this year? Yes. That's probably going to happen, but it's definitely something that when you notice a flaw of yours, you want to work on. And that's what I've chose to work on this offseason.
Paul?
How much is the room enjoying not having us in there, Taylor? How much is that galvanizing things in any way?
I'd say Darren Bates is probably the happiest of everybody that you're not in there. But other than that, you guys it's great to have you guys in there, honestly. It's, I think through the years, the longer you're here, you develop relationships with guys and girls. And it is nice to have you guys in here. It's a little different, but we've been working through adversity, obviously, with this whole COVID thing. Yeah, I wouldn't say anyone's super happy or super sad. It is, it's just part of the game.
Appreciate it.
Jim?
Hey, Tyler, where's Ryan Tannehill in your mind as far as his toughness and his willingness to kind of take one for the team, standing in there and taking hits as he delivers throws?
It's pretty incredible. The pass to Hump, guy right in his face and to throw a ball like that, no flinch at all. I'm not a quarterback, so I've never been in the position to be taking a hit while throwing the ball. But, Tannehill's as tough as they come, man. He's been doing a great job. He's been sitting in there, stepping up at the pocket for us, getting the ball out, helping the offensive line out. The receivers have done a good job of getting open. It's a team sport for a reason. But Tannehill, I think, is one of the tougher ones I've ever seen as far as not flinching and making the right throws.
John?
Yeah, Taylor, Mike was saying he wanted to see some more efficiency in the run game. as it applies to you guys on the O-line? What's that mean to you guys?
I think Braves is right. We do need to be a little more efficient. I think it's little things here and there, whether it's not being tight enough on a double team or too wide on a I don't want to give out scheme, but on blocking somebody out. It's little detail things that we can focus on and fix easily, and it's just a matter of doing that. And the coaches have put us in a good position. We've been growing each week. I think this time last year it was better as far as Derek's yards, but there's an expectation we have in our offensive line. There's an expectation these coaches have for us, and I think so far we've not been there just yet. We're taking steps in the right direction, but we need to definitely be better.
Kayla?
Hey, Taylor, hope you're doing well. On the note of Tannehill, going back to him and just his confidence as a quarterback, as a leader with your team, how much have you seen that even grow within the past, end of last year, start of this year? Because he seems like he's really more vocal, kind of finding himself more and showing more of himself.
Yeah, obviously he's going to be more vocal. This is, quote unquote, his team. He's got the keys to the car. So, the first couple games of the year, he wasn't the starter. He knew that, and there's obviously a different role you have to play. And I think he grew into that role more and more as the season went. And then obviously this year, John, with the confidence he has in the team, has it in the contract he got, he's definitely acting and being the best leader on this team. He's definitely done a good job. When we get into the red zone, he's very vocal about, hey, let's get Derek in. Let's make sure we hold up on this situation. So he's very vocal, and he's fun to block for sure.
Teresa?
Taylor, you mentioned the details that can be improved on blocking. How much better can this offense be? And part of that, maybe the goal to not need to drive down the field at the end of the game to get the winning field goal like you have the last 2 weeks?
I think that's just part of football. It's the NFL, right? This league's built to be 8-8. So I'm sure we'll be in another situation like that probably more times than one this year, where we have to go and make a drive at the end of the game. But from an efficiency standpoint, we can put on the film and you put up 33 points and we're 2-0, and you would think in this locker room that we're 0-2 the way we're focused, which I think is different than I've seen in past years. There's been a certain level of hey, we did it feeling throughout the locker room. And I think guys are definitely we know how much better we can be from an offensive line standpoint, just being a little more clean, a little more crisp on a certain blocks, and that'll help Derek pop through a couple of things. But they're not always big glaring things. They're more lots of little tiny things that we have to work through.
David?
Taylor, back to the penalties for a second. It looks like you're a guy who interacts with the officials a lot. Do you feel like you have a good relationship with those guys, or have there been times you felt like they even target you a little bit?
I would say in recent years, I don't know if we have a good relationship if they're throwing that many flags at me. But I don't know. You play in this league long enough. You get to meet those guys, you talk to them. They're all good guys. They're trying to do the best during the game to make the best calls they can. I'm trying to stay out of their eyesight as much as possible. But yeah, you get to know them, and when you get as many flags as I have, you probably talk to them a little bit more than most guys have. So, like I said, it's been a conscious effort this season. I'll try to continue to do that and still be effective as much as possible.
Terry?
Taylor, saw that you tweeted in the wake of all the injuries that took place around the league last week. Are you a little concerned, given the difference of the offseason and no preseason, that the injuries could mount up this year more so than usual, or just your way of passing along condolences?
I think at this point, they've already mounted up way more than usual, right? I think 7, ACL tears in one day is got to be some sort of a record. But, been in the league for 7 years, been able to go to a couple Pro Bowls and meet some of these guys that unfortunately were hurt. And I know that they're great people. I know that, Saquon Barkley, for instance, spent a little bit of time with him down in Florida during the Pro Bowl, and he's a good person, more than anything. He's a father. His wife and my wife got to talk a little bit. So your heart goes out to those guys, because an ACL is a freak injury. You can't really, it's hard to, make sure it doesn't happen. It's one of those things, when it happens, it happens. And as far from a worry standpoint, the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. So It's not if, it's when, and you just got to play as hard as you can, and hopefully they get you a little farther down the line than earlier.
Last one, Paul.
Hey, you said Ryan's really fun to block for. Roger seemed to get a kick out of it when on one of the rare occasions Tannehill got hit. He said and one after the touchdown pass to Humphreys. What's it like to see the quarterback react that way on the rare occasion he does get popped?
That's badass. That's just what I mean. That was cool. I was right there, and I didn't watch Hump score. I watched Tannehill and his reaction, and he's kind of looking, and he just gave the and one, and it was solid, man. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of confidence in Ryan, and I think Ryan has a lot of confidence in us, the way he stands and sits in the pocket. So just try to continue to get better every single week.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Taylor.